The last thing I want to mention before we begin, so this is the first year of doing the pageant that we have not had our regular river narrator for since the start of the pageant. David Compton has been our narrator as kind of in character as the Umpqua River. He always comes out singing Old Man River at the beginning. We're missing him this year because he passed away in May. So we were very glad that he was able to be a part of that all this year, all those years. And we have a new narrator this year, but I just wanted to honor his memory for a moment. So without further ado, Elkton Rendezvous.
To the east, near my source, I rage and foam and thunder over the rocks. Umpqua, people call me. But here, I flow peacefully between my banks. Many stories, many remembrances I have learned, I have carried. The wind carries my whispers, and they echo in the hills that surround this valley. Throughout the ages, there have been gatherings in the Elkton area. Food, fun, and ideas have helped strengthen bonds and improve life along the Umpqua. In the early history of Elkton, Umpqua Indians, explorers, and fur traders all knew this place as the confluence of Elk Creek and the Umpqua River that we now call home. The British Horticultural Society sent David Douglas to the area in 1826 to catalog the local flora. But before people, there were the animals.
Welcome to the Elk Creek Annual Animal Council meeting. Chief Raven now has the floor.
Thank you,
Thank you, Beaver, and thank you all for taking your time out of your busy schedules to attend our annual meeting. Upcoming events. The grass and brush burn is coming up next month. Please take precautions. Vacate the valley. Forest or water is the safest location when burn season is in effect. I want to hear of anyone caught in a grass fire. The next item. The Beaver Clan wishes to lodge a complaint.
We fear, yes, we have concerns over an increase of the number of pale-faced humans in the valley. They hunt us and trap us for our pelts. We fear annihilation.
The other day, I watched two bales of my relatives' hides float downriver in a dugout.
Don't forget about us. They're after us too.
At least they don't wear your auntie's hat pelts as a hat.
Might I remind you, small mammals, that we deer have been hunted for our meat and hides for ages, and nobody complains about it at council meetings.
It's not just you small mammals. These strange pale-faced hunters speak a strange language and have a taste for our powerful hind legs.
Oh, yuck.
Even our native people hunt us for to trade our pelts to the strange pale hunters.
Not all pale-faced strangers are hunters. There's one of them collects a lot of leaves and speaks the words tat and oatmeal a lot.
This is true. To survive, you must detect the signs of the predator. Sniff the air for the scent of gunpowder and tobacco.
And beware of shiny things in the water, no matter how alluring they are.
Thank you all for your input. We should heed the advice of deer and salmon. The next item for discussion concerns the beavers as well. I've heard grumblings about your new river beautification project.
Yes, we thought that by building a kind of dam meridian at the mouth of Elk Creek, we could better control the flow of traffic and add architectural beauty to that great gate of Umpqua, so to speak.
Due to the large volumes of complaints and potential safety issues during spawning season, I must ask you to abandon the project. We will revisit this issue at next year's council meeting. Meeting adjourned.
Fort Umpqua was a trading post where fur trading was the mission. But as civilization crept into the Umpqua Valley, groups began looking for places to build other kinds of missions. Reverend Lee, Reverend Hines, and Dr. White came to look at the possibility of a Methodist mission in the Elkton area.
Well, gentlemen, this is it. This is Fort Umpqua, built just 4 years ago. What do you think, Dr. White?
There it is. Indeed. A small plantation. Picket enclosure. The house. The outbuildings. I am amazed that such a fine gem as this is here, surrounded by deep, lush forest, and only Indians for 100 miles.
Well, what do you think, Reverend Hines? Is it a gem?
talks funny. What? He talks funny. What was it he said again?
He likes it. He really likes it.
What do you think, Dr. Reverend Hines? Is it a gym?
It's a bit shabby for my taste. But I suppose that it'll provide protection enough from the Indians should they decide to attack. You know, they can be quite quarrelsome in these areas.
But you know, they sure can cook the salmon.
It's raining. It's always raining.
And that is why the grass is so green.
Wet, damp, cold.
Lush, fertile. Oh, and the filbert nuts. Those are willing and waiting. I've died for those.
Wet, windy, smoky.
Green.
You're hopeless.
I thought you're hopeless.
Good, Dr. Gagne, I presume. And Mrs. Gagne, pleased to make your acquaintance. I am Reverend Lee. This is Reverend Hines and Dr. White. We have come to see if we couldn't establish a mission in this area for the natives.
There are some outside right here.
Yeah.
Good for you that these Indians are so ignorant that they don't understand that they're trading valuable pelts for worthless beads.
It's lucky for us that these white men are so ignorant that they'll take these worthless skins and trade for valuable beads and useful tools.
It's true that many of my people were wrong to take so many wives, but I put a stop to that.
I sure am glad to hear that. A man doesn't need any more than one wife, and I don't think that a man could even handle more than one wife.
Well, I'm the chief, so hey, I'm down to 2 wives. It's an improvement.
Oh. All right.
I don't understand why that man called skins worthless when critters use them to keep their insides in. That's pretty useful if you ask me. What kind of skins are those anyway?
Trust me, you don't want to know.
No, really. Beautiful fur reminds me of my late aunt. Wait a minute. Hey, what are they doing with those?
Hats.
What?
They're gonna make hats.
Hats?
Nice ones, though. Really fancy? All hats.
Oh, I feel faint.
In the early 1900s, the Weatherly Eating House was located on Main Street on the Elk Creek side of today's Cash Market. Well, maybe yesterday's Cash Market. It was the stop for the stagecoach between Scottsburg and Drain, and it was run by Charlie Weatherly. It was the place to have a fine dinner and a place to learn of the latest happenings.
In a small town, to be in the know, there are certain places you want to go. At the turn of the century, one of those stops was Weatherly's Eating House. The food is tops. The place is clean and real spick and span, with chicken and dumplings bubbling in the pan. Charlie rings his dinner bell, the locals and passengers all can tell. It's time to come in and grab a seat for some of Charlie Weatherly's real good eats. The table is long and set real smart, and he shops in the city for all the parts. Some of the dishes are stacked double tall, so there's room at the table for one and all.
No kidding. Where does he get his food?
Well, there's a story about when Charlie was young. Some of his school pals stuffed him in a show coffin in one of the stores. When Charlie didn't come out, those boys got a real scare. What, Charlie out cold? From what, lack of air?
Daughter, you dirty scoundrel, you rat, you! You come with your mother. Now, gotta tell you something, girl. Sorry. I got some news for you, Jake Cully. Heard the stagecoach along the Umpqua will soon be gone. Railroad's coming in. They're blowing tunnels all the way to Drain. That ruckus they are making from that blasted powder is something to be reckoned with.
Ruckus, ha! I heard Bill Cheevers got blown clean through his roof by some of that blasting powder that his kids were collecting from those near-empty tins. And they were hiding under his bed. Hiding, that is, until he broke a kerosene lamp and lit his floor on fire. Well, Bill told his family to get out, took that mattress, threw it on the fire, threw himself on top of it. Boom! Blasted him clear out into the yard. Only got some scratches and scrapes, but did the house some fierce. Another story that'll curl your toes. And this is why you should use the restroom before the stagecoach goes. One time I had a passenger who had to stop to rest. And she picked some leaves no one could have guessed. They worked just fine, as good as paper, and even made a nice bouquet. But when I saw those leaves, I told her, and I just had to say, "Ma'am, you don't know what you've done here. This ain't no joke. You're gonna get blisters where those leaves were. That's poison oak."
Chicken dinner! About 1915, up on Hayden Bluff, a vacant house became the Maclay Opera House, where people gathered on a Saturday night to play singing games and eat a potluck supper. People had to come a long ways to get there, and sometimes there were hazards to overcome.
Welcome everyone. We are so happy that you could all come. So nice to have you here on such short notice.
Good to see you all. Welcome to the Elmore House. We have plenty of room. Fire's all stoked up, so the more the merrier.
We're so glad we got here early onto the fire and get ready for this crowd. Got lots of wood chopped for the stove stacked outside. Got the lantern set up so we have a little light.
Let me think now. Everybody is coming. I'm so excited. I got to remember names. We have the Hinderers and the Swaggarts and the Carltons. And then we have the Beckleys. And we have the Herds. We have the Cheevers. We have the Fallards. We have the Reinhardts, the Felts, and the Millers are all coming also. And I heard a lot of folks from Elkton will be here tonight. They're crossing on that ferry boat, and they're all coming on horseback. I'm sure Will and Charlie Hargan and their sisters, Minnie, Mabel, and Lillian will all be here also. Should be a great time tonight. Should be great. And you know, since you guys moved to the old Smith place and you let us use your place as the Maclay Opera House, it is so wonderful to have this venue now. Thank you so much.
Hope everyone's ready to do some fancy step into the music tonight.
Woohoo! Let's go! All right, Mike. Woohoo!
We had the horses all loaded on the ferry, and somehow we dropped the rope so the boat was loose and the current was strong, and all of a sudden we were moving faster than we thought.
It was awful. The horses got scared and their stamping around almost swamped the boat.
Finally, the current brought the ferry close enough to get some twigs and limbs to grab onto, and we got the boat a little bit closer to shore. And we had to jump out and throw out the horses, and
It was still a brushy bad spot, but we managed to get through the brush and coax the horses into calming down.
We are so cold and wet, and we never thought we were going to get the 4.5 miles up here. Oh, it's so good to be warm.
Well, there's plenty of room here, and you folks are all sure welcome. You'll have to spend the night here, or you're welcome to come down to our house just down the hill. In the meantime, how about we all warm up with some more tunes?
Who would have thought that our area would become a temporary home to about 200 men of the Civilian Conservation Corps? In the 1930s and 40s, that changed the population of Elkton in a big way. One of the popular activities at the time was roller skating at the Elkton Lodge Hall.
As our country is afflicted by this Great Depression, young men come together to make this concession to life in a camp away from home and family for the Civilian Conservation Corps, or CCC. It's a part of the New Deal from President Roosevelt to keep families from starving, although we tightened our belts. $30 for our labor at each month's end, $25 for our family with 5 left to spend. We reforest, repair campgrounds, build bridges and roads. We cut fire breaks, dig trails, and lift heavy loads. At day's end, we play fishing, swimming, football. Tonight, we go roller skating at Elkton's Lodge Hall.
My day of toil on a path left me smeary and spotty, with no time for a bath. So it's like this I've come to the lodge hall tonight, and can't believe my good fortune to find a maiden just right, to ask for escape and a pleasant conversation about how we both find ourselves here at this station. Will you skate with me?
It was known as Cook's Store, then Fetter's, then Randall's. Then in the 1950s and 60s, local folks and people on their way to the coast planned to stop at Arlene's, where the crowd was diverse and the servings generous and delicious. Seating for 150, it was a great place to enjoy the food and find out what was happening in the town.
Hi,
I'm on assignment for local news for this weekend for KELK. The small town of Elkton has a gathering spot that's making the news as a great place to stop. I'll be interviewing a variety of folks who find this the place to be. Oh, hey, here's the logger. I'm noticing a lot of pickups and even some crummies stopping here. Why is that?
Well, I tell you, this is a great place to get a giant ham and egg breakfast. And I tell you, after a long day out in the woods dropping timber and setting chokers, it's a great place to come have a nice cold beer or two or three. And if you don't have too many, and you remember to give your lunchbox to Arlene at the end of the day, she'll fill it up for you. She'll fill it up with 2 sandwiches, a homemade pastry, candy bar, piece of fruit, drink for $1.25. It's wonderful. But I tell you, the best thing about Arlene's is the 5-cent coffee and all them pies.
Thank you. I can see that this place is great for loggers, morning and night. Ah, here's a local housewife. Why do you like coming to Arlene so much?
Well, every morning after I drop the kids off at school, a bunch of us get together, come in here for a laugh and a visit, share a recipe or two, and talk about how they ought to run the school, other important stuff like that. But mostly, it's that 5-cent cup of coffee and all those pies.
Thank you. Boy, it's busy here. Waitresses are all running around and smiling. Excuse me, why do you love it here so much?
Arlene is great to work for. People love to come here. It helps me earn my school clothes, even enough money to help buy me a car. But It's fun to meet people, but it is hard to go to school, play sports, cheerlead, and wait tables. I'm lucky to have such a great place to live and work. Arlene serves great meals all day long, but mostly it's the 5-cent cup of coffee and all those pies.
Thank you. I'm beginning to see a pattern. Oh, wow, a whole Greyhound bus load of people and a bunch of out-of-towners. I'll see if I can get their take on this stuff. Excuse me.
Yeah.
How do you find yourself in such a tiny town?
Where have you been? Arlene's is famous. We don't go to the coast without stopping here. And as a matter of fact, sometimes we come down here from Eugene and don't even go to the coast. Arlene's food is fabulous. Her servings are gigantic, but mostly I love her 5-cent cup of coffee and all those pies. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Well, I can see that everyone here is real happy. I'll find out what this woman thinks. How do you happen to be here at Arlene's?
Well, today is Monday and it is Tops Club Day. We meet upstairs. Take off pounds sensibly. We're all here to lose weight, so we go upstairs and then we come down here and visit, and really, it's the 5-cent cup of coffee and all those pies.
Thank you. Well, I guess it's time to talk to Arlene herself. Oh, I know you're busy. Do you have time for a question or two about this popular gathering spot?
Why, sure, I'd be happy to.
Well, it seems that everyone loves your pies. How many do you make?
Well, the first 9 years I made 40,000, and then I just got too busy to count.
It seems like a really popular gathering place. I'm noticing it seats about 140 people. Is it always full?
Just about. Sometimes there's people waiting in line for a booth.
And you can host banquets and big events?
Oh my, yes. The Boy Scouts of Douglas County hold their banquet here every year. That's the biggest one. But we have several banquets.
So what do you think causes all your success?
Well, I believe it's the 5-cent cup of coffee and all those pies.
Gather now? Well, we're back at Fort Umpqua. We have come full circle.
What goes on here? This place looks awfully familiar. Having to do, it resembles some ancestral sketches having to do with the dark ages of the fur trade.
We better scope it out.
Someone's coming!
Out for a brisk walk in the morning. I'm glad you could catch up with me. That was hardly it.
Would you look at that? There's the fort over there. Isn't that a great historical addition? We were talking about it yesterday at the safety meeting. Where were you?
Well, I had a dental appointment, but you know, I hated to miss the wine, the snacks, and all the gossip especially, so what's new?
Well, let me tell you as we walk or run.
Here, Nate, I brought you a mocha from the outpost. You want me to order you a sandwich for later?
Oh, no thank you. This will do fine. I brought my own lunch today.
All right, I'll catch you later. I'm hosting tours at the Butterfly Pavilion today.
Mochas and butterflies. Very curious.
Hey there, how's it going? How's it going? Good, nice. Well, once the fog clears, it should be a good day. Remember to keep the grass wet around your campfire pit, okay? All right.
This fort is just pretend, right? They're not really going to start the fur trade again, are they? Yeah, this is purely educational. I'm pretty sure. With this new Fort Umpqua and this new ridge pylons, we beavers are finally getting some recognition around here. Finally!
Let's set up the buffet table for this barbecue right over there like we did last year. I'm really looking forward to the concert tonight. I hope a lot of young families show up. I love watching the kids dance.
I've been meaning to ask you about the quilt you always make for the quilt raffle. What's the theme this year?
You around here. Hey, I just got out of the garden and I got a whole tub full of fresh vegetables for your barbecue. And I got some beautiful apples from the Fort Umpqua apple tree that's in the Heritage Orchard that was donated to the orchard from Nick Botner in 2008. Oh boy, you're gonna enjoy this. I think I'm gonna go home, the sun's shining, I'm gonna do some solar cooking. All right, see y'all later.
Food definitely seems to be a theme here.
Yeah.
You think that guy could use a wait. Hey look! Butterflies! Today's the day! We finally get to leave here and head to the Pacific Grove to hang on our old eucalyptus tree. So anxious for the long sleep until February.
Yeah! But then we just wake up, mate, and die. Maybe we can hang around here as long as we can.
That guy could use a little help peeling logs. Some young beavers like us could get it done much faster, I suppose. But I'm busy remodeling my lodge right now. Yeah, I gotta get home before dinner. See you at our jam session later tonight. At Newport Umpqua, they're not trapping, they're just talking. Let's jam!
Thank you.